Very happy because of the fact that all the three Khamti guys were qualified.
So it almost took me 3 years to clear this examination.
The base, the print that you make is a pre. And then as you go up, it's the mains. And then the final thing is your interview. So it's basically done.
Greetings to all and welcome to TBH. Right now, I'm sitting with two young and promising personalities, Chow Kungkham Namchum and Nam Sujina Manpung, who have recently cracked Arunachal Pradesh Civil Service Examination, which is considered to be one of the most prestigious exam of the state. Welcome to TBH. So, सबसे पहले आप सबका introduction लेना चाहेंगे हम.
Greetings to all. My name is Chow Kungkham Namchum. I belong from Khamti type. I did much of my schooling from Government High Secondary School Namsai, and then I went on to Shillong to pursue my graduation. And this was my first attempt, and I was lucky enough to clear it in the first try.
Myself, Sujina Manpung. I've been trained as an architect urban planner. After that, I worked for a few years, and thereafter my interest in research made me pursue PhD. So right now, currently, I'm pursuing my PhD from Jawaharlal Nehru University in Delhi. Okay, so this was my second attempt. It was a good experience overall, so I'm happy to be part of the final list.
Okay, सबसे पहले तो जब ये result out हुआ ना, तो कैसा था आपका friends का reaction, कैसा था आपका family का reaction? And
For me, I was expecting that I'll be in the final list, but I wasn't sure of my results because my mains was slightly not up to the mark, I felt. And nonetheless, since I got to the last time also I had an experience, so I was feeling more confident of myself that I'll be done. So finally, after the results came, I was more fortunate than all the other friends of mine. At least they were also there in the final list, but they could not qualify. So it was sad to see other friends along with us also who did not qualify. But otherwise, all of us were very happy. And I was very happy because of the fact that all the three Khamti guys were qualified. So that was the most happiest thing that happened with me that night. The result was declared.
For me, the same thing. After the mains, the result came out. I was happy. At the same time, I was very nervous because this year, after the commission has changed its syllabus, so the questions were quite out of what we were expecting. It was very different. So seeing my list and then mains accepted list I was very happy. At the same time, I didn't know. I was very uncertain regarding my marks. So after I completed my interview, was done, I was quite confident because it went quite well. So I was like, "Chalo, theek hai, kuch na kuch to ho jayega." Okay. So when the results came out, I was very happy that I made it to the list. And more than me, my family members were more happy. And I'm happy that I was able to make them proud. So,
yeah, actually, since we have talked about the pattern, right? So, like, since we have seen कि earlier जो APPSC का जो pattern था, it was quite different from the present one, right? So many of the aspirants they were crying over that कि इतना like tough वाला वो हो गया, syllabus हो गया. So what do you think? Is it like advantage for us or is it like अच्छा नहीं हुआ ये syllabus change हो गया? आप लोगों को क्या लगता है?
No, I feel we should always think for better prospects. We should always try to compete with the other states also. So the new reform, I feel it's quite good. It will keep us in a broader platform with the other states also. In this, if we give for the state also, because it's at par with the UPSC pattern also. So obviously the students also can think of appearing for the UPSC. So it's a better advantage because our state is it's a little bit redundant also. So I feel it's good.
yeah, I have the same feeling as Pichi here because I believe this new syllabus would force our young generation to study more, focus more on the studies, and at the same time, hold a caliber barrier, and they will be able to compete in much more higher platforms as such. And this way, I believe yes, it was done in the right direction, but for us it was quite unexpected. But I believe for the next generation, they will be able to focus more as we have gone through it. And I believe the next generation will have it more easier.
Okay. जैसे कि आपका ये second attempt है, right? So how did you keep yourself motivated throughout this journey, no?
So basically, I actually after my experience of working as an urban planner for a few years, I realized that I need to go back home. So then I started making plans for myself. What is the next thing that I should do? So PhD was the next thing that I could think of. So that's how that I got motivated. So my main intention was coming back home and doing something for the society. So that was what I kept striving for it. The first attempt also I made it till the interview. But I feel I was not so serious that time in the sense of I took it very lightly. So, but nonetheless, it was a learning for me. So I made some few changes in my after my first attempt. So second attempt, I was very lucky enough that immediately after my first attempt, the notification for the second attempt came very fast. So I did not waste even a single time, and the pandemic turned out to be a very good advantage for me. So that's how I make best use of my time, and I was very confident that I'll get through anyway. So that motivation and that faith in myself kept me going. So that's how.
Alright. Coming back to you, Kham, when did you start thinking of going to this civil service preparation?
So it happened when I was in my last semester. When the last semester came, I started thinking कि अभी तो life में कुछ करना है. Like I was very blank regarding what my future direction would be. So I thought about preparing for APPSC at this time, and I started my application. I started study करने start किया उस समय. And I was fortunate enough that during those periods I got a scholarship through Robin Hughes Helping Hand Foundation, and I did my coaching from there only. And I've seen in youths in Arunachal Pradesh, they have this आदत as such कि वो लोग कुछ भी देने से पहले they'll be like, it's very tough, I can't. They'll do say this, हमसे नहीं होगा, I'm not capable enough. If you've not tried, you'll never know. You try, you fail, you learn. If you never try, you'll never learn. So that's what I believe, and that's what I will say to the younger generation.
Exactly. जैसे कि हम भी ऐसे लेन में, no, हम भी ऐसे thought रखते हैं कि नहीं, when we talk about the civil services, no, we are like, ये तो हमसे नहीं होगा, दूर का बात है, no, इसके लिए तो बहुत दिमाग चाहिए होता है. We think in that way, right? So exactly whatever you say, no, I agree with that. And next thing I would like to know is, since we know that the syllabus is very vast, right? So आप लोग time को manage कैसे किया?
Preparing for this exam is a very long process. It goes for like years together. Especially in states like Arunachal, where the exam doesn't happen very, very regularly. So, considering the time frame, which can extend up to many years also, you need a lot of patience. So, I believe you also need to have a mental and physical, you need to have a mental strength. You need to keep mentally sound. You need to meditate also sometimes. So, the strategy isn't like sticking to the same NCERT books, clearing your concepts in a very good manner. And for the pre, you need to focus on more on doing mock tests and all those. So mock tests and all, they really help you because they'll try to extract what exactly you know, don't know, and where you have to improve yourself. Considering all this, I feel mains is something you really have to focus on. You'll have to score marks in mains to be very to come to the final list.
I would also agree with Pichi, the way the exam went, she's very nicely explained like the processes and all, and the steps you needed. For any new aspirants who are planning on preparing for examination, I'd say like go through the previous examination, get an idea of what they're demanding, focus on that, and have a strategy in your mind. I'll study this in this way, I'll study history, so I'll focus on years if it has to, or I'll study on specific storyline and such. So you have to focus on that. At the same time, I'll see for motivation as you go on clearing the examination. It's a 3-step process. If you go on clearing on your prelims, you get motivated for your means. So after you do your means, you get selected, you'll be more motivated for your interview. So motivation you will find along the way. You don't have to worry about motivation. You have to focus on the way how you prepare. As Vijay said, you don't have to sit for 12 hours straight. You can sit for 2 hours, but do it very holistically and maintain consistency. Have that consistency to do it every day, every single day. Be it 1 hour, be it 2 hours, but do it every day. Because if you miss a day, next day it will be very difficult for you to set again. So I'll say that be very consistent and at the same time have a very focused that whatever you are doing, I'll do it for very holistically.
Okay, did you go to any coaching center?
Okay, honestly, I did not go to any coaching center. I feel, for somebody who hasn't been into regularly studying and all, it's better to take a coaching. Why it's better is because you get to know what exactly to study and what not to study. So basically, going for coaching is to know what not to study, because you'll be flooded with a lot of information on the website, and nowadays it's very easy to find any information. But you should know what exactly you should study. So basically, that will guide you through. But nonetheless, you'll have to study on your own. Self-study is something which cannot be replaced, and there is no shortcut for qualifying this exam. And you have to maintain discipline. That is very important, and hard work at the same time, very smartly. So that's what I would say.
Okay. So, what challenges did you face during your Viva?
As you have said, I was very nervous, really. I was regarding this Viva, because in mains and prelims, it's about your knowledge, what you have studied, how you are able to translate your knowledge into your answers. But in Viva, it's much more about your personality, how you present yourself. At the same time, do you have that? Do you have that thing that is required to become an officer to serve the society? So I believe in this regard, I was very nervous regarding the Viva, because I had no prior experience regarding any interviews. I won't be saying it too much, but this was my first interview of my life, so I was very nervous. But the panel that I got was very comfortable. They made me very comfortable. They were very nice, and it's not. I would tell that, don't be so nervous with the Viva. Be who you are. Go as you are. Present yourself as you are. And if if you are truthful to yourself, and if you're truly showing your true colors to the interview panel, they'll like you. And that is what happened with me. We are lucky that both of us were in the same boat, and Piche herself has scored the second highest mark in interview. So I believe she would be more helpful in regarding Viva and how you should prepare with that. So Piche.
For me, since it was my second interview, I did not go for any mock as such before the interview. But the preparation this time for the interview was much better than the first time. I made sure that I tried to be honest as much as possible, and try to show them that I really need this job and I want to come back. So that was my main intention. So I was fortunate enough to get into the first boat, which was much better than all the other boats. So somehow, I could impress them, I guess, and my qualification and all those was also very impressive, so they really liked it. And otherwise, interview is such a thing that it has the maximum marks for GS also, I guess. No, it's 25 marks more, so it is 275. So it's almost like one subject. So for me, to be very honest, my mains marks were slightly less, but my interview made me really come up much better, So if my interview wasn't good, I think I would have been in a much bottom level. But you don't have to be really worried of that. But still, if somebody wants to really prepare for it and go for the exam next time, we need to keep building our personality also at the same time, because at the end, it doesn't come so easily. So at the same time, every day you need to keep on improving yourself, how to build your own personality. So,
okay, and most of the time, people speaking English is preferable, isn't it? So how far do you think it is true?
I think, you should be knowing to speak good English in front of the board. But
I don't think it doesn't matter that much. It does, but
I don't know. I think it does matter, because for me earlier, first time when I went for the interview, I was not focusing much on what I was wearing also. But it has marks divided for all. But I won't say if you can't speak good English that you won't be. Anybody can speak English. It's not that you have to be very polished in speaking. You just have to be, when they are asking you a question, you should be able to put forward your answer and convey them the message. They are not looking for your very correct answer also. They are just looking at your personality. When somebody is throwing you a question, how do you react to it? How do you come up with a solution? No matter, the solution is not there with anybody. Of course, if there is a solution, we would have become the Prime Minister. But they also know that there is no solution. But how do you approach the attitude of those question that has been thrown to you. You need to have a positive, forward-looking. You need to be people-centric when you're talking. You need to have a sensitive mind towards women, children. So this is what they look at when you're trying to answer the questions.
And this is something.
But English, I don't think so. It should be a barrier for the interview.
And this is something like even my English is not that good. So it doesn't, I don't think it matters as such. And if you're comfortable, you can tell the board, sir, I'm not very comfortable in speaking English. I would like to speak in English. And they would happily allow you. So don't have that misconception, I'll say. Don't focus more on your personality regarding the interview. Like as Piche said, like be more sensitive towards women and children. And this is something we should have in our our everyday life, and we should apply it. If you are a good person, you'll be able to present yourself as a good person. So that is what I believe.
So not everyone is fortunate, right? Family ka support plus financially, no. So for those like aspirants, शायद self study ही काम करेगा, right? पूरा dedication.
For me, the same thing. I don't belong from a very well-to-do family. So for me also, when I started my preparation, I did self-study, and I was looking for a way to start coaching. And I didn't want to burden my family, as everyone knows that coaching is very expensive. So during those periods only, I came around this Robin Zivu Helping Hand Foundation, and they were providing scholarship research. So I applied for that. I gave an exam. I got selected. I was lucky enough. So I believe if you have the will to do something, you'll find a way. So it doesn't matter you belong from a very poor family or very rich family. The richest of the families, their sons, I believe most of them, if you even if they try, if they don't want to, they won't be able to. If you want to, if you have that will inside you that I'll do it, you'll find a way anyhow. So I'll see that your economical background, yes, it will give you some disadvantage, but you have to overcome the disadvantage, and only then you will be able to succeed.
For me, I find like, I mean, there's always a constraint as a student, you know. But I think that should motivate you to move become more stronger. I feel it like that. I mean, when you have a hurdle in front of you, you tend to work harder, you know. I mean, it should not, it should be seen as more of a positive aspect. I feel it like that. So that has been my experience also over the years. I mean, if somebody is trying to criticize me, take it in a positive way, you know. Maybe you'll become stronger. You'll come up much stronger. So all these hurdles are always there. But yeah, as he said, there's always a way to find out. So be crowded with people who are of your same caliber, you know, who is preparing. So that always keeps you motivated. And you need to have a lot of discussions also, read current affairs. And they are very interesting also. You need to know what's happening around. So it's really nice.
Yes. What the exams ask is, do you have the knowledge that regarding what is happening around the world? And that is what we need to know. We need to know what is happening in our country. We need to know what is happening in our state. That is like basic knowledge we should have. And that is what the examination demands. That do you know about this issue that is happening? Do you have any opinion regarding this issue? So if you know, that is something I believe everyone should know. Everyone should know what is happening. Everyone should know what is happening with the nation, with the world that impacts our life. So when you know about that, you will, if you have that knowledge, you'll be able to work on that. So I believe don't take this exam as a very tough one. Everything is very basic, like basic current affairs issue, and they will ask question only that only. So have that knowledge regarding what is happening around you and that is impacting our life. So that is what I would say.
So we have seen कि बहुत सारे societies अरुणाचल में ही they extend their helping hand to the aspirants who have qualified the mains or the prelims, right? So did you get any kind of such helping hand from our people?
So in the first stage, after we qualified the pre, we were 14 of us from the Khamti society. We got some monetary assistance from the Deputy Chief Minister and respected MLA sir. So after that, after the assistance that we got, it helped us in preparing for our mains also. We could take some written tests and all those. So it was really helpful, and we had to shift to Itanagar also for most of us to prepare. So for all these things, it was taken care by our society, by our leaders. So after that, after we qualified the mains, so we were left with only 3 of us. So during the mains, both of us took the opportunity to approach Mitali Madam, who is the Secretary of Urban Development, and she's posted right now in Itanagar. So we contacted her. She gave us some feedback how to go about with the interview and all. Otherwise, we also took some mock interviews in the institute there. So that was what we had. But apart from that, there are other communities like the Adis, like the Nishis, Galos, and all. They have, over the years, they had many successful officers that have come up. So they were the ones who were conducting for them. So they really got good advantage of that. While for us, we were deprived of all those advantages. So I think going forward, we realize that we should also go about doing this so that we have more of our people coming up.
And in this matter, I would also like to mention that the community-based organization that we have, like Taksu and TKDS, they should come forward in this regard. They should really focus regarding the future generations. Like they should focus in their studies. Like they should provide, if possible, scholarships to the economically backward students so that they can pursue their dreams. In this regard, they should really come forward, because I've also felt, as Piches mentioned, like during the interview process, I felt this sense of helplessness regarding this. When I came to know that other societies were organizing interviews, for mock interviews for them, I also felt that even if someone was there for us to help, maybe we could have done much more better. Maybe we would have come in the top 10 if this was possible. So that was something, yes, I felt like that was missing. And I believe that in the future, the community-based organizations that we have, they should come really forward regarding in this matter, so that the young generation, they don't feel helpless. Sometimes they feel very helpless. They feel like there's no one to guide us, there's no one to help us in these matters. So I believe they should come forward. They should really, it's high time that we focus on our young generation's future, because this young generation that we have is what will lead our society to a bright future. So we need to focus on that. We need to focus more on that, and we need to bring a sense of competition within among the youngsters and within the society as such. The parents need to compete. That my student is doing this, I'll focus more on him or her. So we need to bring that sense in our people, I believe.
But at the same time, you also have to be passionate about your goals.
You have to be passionate.
I mean, it's just not that you are pushing somebody to do it.
Yes,
The other person also has to be ready to accept what you are trying to do. No?
If they're willing, then you can help them. Not only in studies, if they're good in sports, you should help that person achieve in sports. If they're good in music, let them focus on music, but let them excel in music. Not only let them do good.
Okay, going back to your preparation days, no? So how was your daily routine?
My daily routine, I'm not a morning person as such. To be more precise, I would say like I used to wake up at around 6. Like 1 hour I'll do my morning routines and all. After that I'll start my paper reading. Paper reading is something that you'll have to do. You have to have a newspaper that you follow very holistically every day. You have to go through that. So even Pichi would accept that newspaper is something that it takes around 2 hours if you have to go thoroughly in this regard. Like there's different topics happening every day, so you have to you select a topic whichever you find important, and then you have to research on that. What is going on? What is the previous thing that happened? What led to this situation? So it's something that will take. Initially, it used to take me around 4 hours. When I started my preparation to read a newspaper, I used to think, my God, if I keep on wasting 4 hours in interview of this newspaper only, then I won't be able to read anything. So as I kept on reading the newspaper, it started taking more or less time. By the time I started my examination, it used to take me around 2 hours to read the newspaper and do notes making on that. After that, I'll take a rest. I'll have my breakfast or something for 1 hour, and by 9:30 I'll start my day. I'll have patterns set beforehand. Like I have to read this in the morning, I have to read this in the evening. So in the morning, if I have to read history, I'll focus on history till afternoon, till I have my lunch around 1 or something. I'll focus on that. After that, I'll eat my lunch. I'll talk to my friends or family for 1 hour or something. And by 2 or 3, I'll start my preparation. It will be a very short duration in the daytime. I'll read for only 2 hours. By 4 5, by 5:30 I'll be done, and I'll go out sometime. You need to have a very fresh, you need to have a very good routine. At the same time, in those routines, you have to make time for yourself also, where you'll do recreational activities. So in the evening, I used to go out. I used to meet my friends. I used to talk with them. Even during this years where we met, we used to go out. We used to have conversation regarding our preparation only. We'll come back. I used to stay alone. So even Pichi used to stay alone. We'll go back to our places. We'll cook, and by the time we'd have finish our dinner, it will be around 9. And then again, I'll do my studies till around as long as I can. I'll have sometime 11, sometime. During the mains, it used to be till around 2 or something. So I didn't have any set pattern that I will follow this every day, but it kept on fluctuating. But at the same time, in between, I know I have to study. I'll focus more on study, but in between, I'll take out time for myself also, so that I clear my mind. I'll have a fresh perspective whenever I start. So that is something I believe is very important, to make time for yourself. During this preparation, make time for yourself.
In my case, what I would say is everybody has got their own strategy. So it's always good to listen to others' strategy and then see if that applies with you. So in my case, I'm slightly a little bit fitness freak also. So during my pre-times, to be very honest, I did not study much. So my base and all was good enough, so I could just do a little bit of revision and all. So that's how I brushed up the pre. So, but yeah, whenever I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is I do exercise for an hour, and that follows my routine. So that keeps me focused the whole day. So I'm mentally sound that ways. And then after that, a little bit of meditation also. And then I start my day with my... So you also have to fix your timings and divide the subjects, because there are many subjects that you have to cover: history, geography, polity, and all those. So you'll have to divide your time. I mean, in a day, how many hours do you want to allocate for your GS1, GS2, for your optional and all? So sticking to your routine in terms of keeping the times for every subjects and meeting your targets. I mean, there are targets that you need to set. Today I'm covering this topic, so I have to finish this topic. So it is very important that you make target for long goals and at the same time for short goals, as in like for a week, I have to cover this much. So over the week, if you see, you need to analyze for yourself whether I have covered it or not. So over the months, you'll see how much you have covered it. So you have to allocate time in terms of dividing based on your subjects and meeting those targets and how many hours you'll have to study. So sometimes for my mains, I did not do any workout, to be very honest. 2 months, I just sat in the room and I studied, because it was a very vast syllabus that I had to cover. And optional was something which was very new for me also. There were few topics that I could not cover in the coaching also because of the lockdown and all. So this time, in the old pattern, there were few topics which was not included. So based on the UPSC pattern, it was a very vast thing. So a few topics were really very tough for me. It was a new subject also. I took up anthropology. So what I was saying is, you need to stick to your timings and then finish those. Syllabus have to be covered anyways. I mean, if you don't cover any syllabus, that means if any question comes, that means you are not able to answer it. So you have to cover the syllabus. You have to know everything about the syllabus, if not thoroughly, but still you have to know. So that's how you improve your scores. And 2 months was like just locked down in the room and then study. I mean, it can be 12 hours, 15 hours also, but does not mean that every day it has to be 12 hours only. Sometimes you are a human being, so maybe you might not want to study the other day. So if you are not able to study that day, just make up the next day. But then sticking to your target is very important.
So, Mr. Punkham and now Sujina, so your journey has started now, right? So, how do you feel your life would be after this training? So the next step is going to training, isn't it? So I think you have already acknowledged the challenges that will come in your life, and how are you going to prepare or you are planning to overcome these challenges?
For me, for every stage in life, I have taken a different perspective. Like when I was in my college days, I used to eat the same food. I used to sleep on the same bed anywhere you go. I mean, at home also you sleep on a bed only, wooden bed only. So in every stage of life, my perspective has changed. I mean, I have grown over the years. I mean, when I was a college life was very different. So when I got into my professional life, it was different. It taught me many new things. And I learned to grow with time. So I feel as I'm stepping into a government service, this will be something very new for me. So cracking exam is one thing. Okay, that is fine. But otherwise, the next challenge is something which is which is going to be a very big thing for me. So I'll have to still ponder upon it, how I'll go about it. But I have a bigger frame in mind that I'll have to serve my people and do honest as much as possible again. So that is the challenge that I will want to stick on over the years.
For me, I believe that this preparation journey teaches you how to be a good officer. It not only tells you how to crack an exam, it teaches you patience, to be compassionate, that a sense of responsibility that you're going to have. It comes with the preparation process. So I believe that the training that we're going to go on will help us become a good officer, and at the same time help us do justice to the responsibility that is given to us with the clearing of the examination. And I hope that I'll be able to justice to the post that I'll be holding. And with this, I hope that I'll be able to be a good officer. That's what I believe the training will help me to become.
Okay, with this, we would like to conclude the interaction. So we wish you a very, very good luck for your future endeavor on behalf of TBH team.
Thank you so much.